We have our FOMO with Dr. Sarah Matt, who is the author of a book that's coming out in December, The Borderless Healthcare Revolution. She's got an amazing background, and she's on an amazing panel called Smarter Devices, Better Outcomes, How Connectivity is Transforming Patient Care. And when I put this one together, I really wanted multiple perspectives. So we've got, in addition to Sarah Matt, whose book, The Borderless Healthcare Revolution, is coming out, and who is a practicing doctor and who has worked at Oracle, and she'll get into all of that in the interview, into the FOMO interview. We also have Oliver Keown, Dr. Oliver Keown, who is the CEO at Oath Surgical, which is a really tech-forward ambulatory surgery center business that Oliver started a few years ago. Oliver had previously been at Intuitive Ventures. He was on our Intuitive Talks podcast when he did that. Now he's moving into this tech services space. So you can catch Oliver at DeviceTalks West, along with Sarah and along with Yanya Pathak, who is the medical science manager of medical affairs at Abbott's neuromodulation business. So we've got MedTech. We've got MedTech/services, and we have tech/medical. And all of that's going to be tied together by our moderator, Bill Benton, who's the director of MedTech Solutions at S3 Connected Health. So again, I really, when we put this agenda together and we put this panel together, I wanted to do something other than just have three connected health companies up there talking about how they're going about things. I really wanted to unpack what's happening in the real world. So it's going to be a great panel, and a huge part of that greatness will be Dr. Sarah Matt. So let's start my interview with Dr. Sarah Matt, again, author of The Borderless Healthcare Revolution. Well, Dr. Sarah Matt, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Thomas. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you as well. You were a guest of ours at Device Talks Boston, and happy to have you next week or this week, depending upon when people are listening to Device Talks West. You'll be on our Connected Health panel, which I think I'm really excited about, because I think it really is sort of going forth. We're past the point of, isn't Connected Health neat and important, into like, oh my God, how are we going to do this? So,
exactly.
And I think you're the perfect person to address this. So you do have a book coming out on December 11th called The Borderless Healthcare Revolution. I ask you this question with all due respect: what makes you an expert in this conversation? What's your background? Because it is really compelling.
I love that, Tom. Thank you. So I'm a surgeon by training, but I changed my career into the tech side very early in my career for impact. And so for me, bedside care was very constraining. You can only see maybe 20 patients a day at best as a surgeon. But now on the tech side, for my whole career, I can impact hundreds, thousands, millions, and billions of people every day. So I've been building product and development teams all over the world for my entire career. Everything from the digital health side, so next-gen healthcare, EMRs, et cetera, to several different startups. And I was at Oracle Health for a long time. I started there in OCI, building out their healthcare and life science business for cloud globally before helping them acquire Cerner. And so I've been at the Series A side, and I've been at the hyperscale side, everything from applications down to platform infrastructure. And then you may have seen me in Boston this past spring as Chief Strategy Officer at Savato, so enabling remote robotic surgery. And so for me, it's about not just delivery in device, med tech, et cetera, but in building. And so that's where I come in, because my expertise is not just clinical. I just saw patients this morning, but it's also in building those solutions, not just for gain in terms of revenue, but gains in terms of scalability and gains in terms of impact to patients.
So you're walking between these two worlds, healthcare and tech, and doing so comfortably. So how different are these two groups? Are we seeing differences that aren't there? Is the they part of the conversation overstated, or are there really sort of two vastly different understandings of what the problems are and what the solutions are?
I think there are. So as I was writing my book, I actually aimed the book at two different audiences for this exact same reason. So leaders in healthcare delivery and builders in health tech, device, and med tech have very different incentives. So we have folks that are dealing with patients every day, have to deal with reimbursement and collecting on it every day, and not necessarily having to innovate, create new go through FDA, et cetera. Whereas on the building side, we have all sorts of regulatory impacts. We have to deal with the FDA and other regulatory bodies, but we also have to deal with immense competition within the United States and abroad, and the speed of tech and the speed of getting it into the hands of those who can use it. And so, again, different incentives and different speeds of business.
So I had given my my sort of layperson's assessment of where we are in this transformation and move toward connected health. Give us a better, more precise GPS location as to where we are. Are we just beginning to arrive, or are we arriving at the exit off the off? Like, where are we in really achieving I think the potential of what technology can do in healthcare?
So I think at this point, we're still dabbling in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. And it's not because the tech isn't there. The tech is there. The tech will continue to move forward. We are ramping and accelerating I'd say, pace of innovation, utilizing AI, utilizing new technologies, new materials, et cetera, so fast. The technology is the easy part.
Hmm.
The hard part is adoption, implementation, policy building. How is this actually going to work in a workflow with real human beings? How is it going to actually be considered safe by providers, considered safe by patients? So what I'd say is that the tech is there.
Hmm.
That's not the issue. It's everything else. That's the hard part, mostly the trust.
Great point. So the panel you'll be on at DeviceTalks West will have someone from the CEO of Oath Surgical, we'll have someone from Abbott, so we'll have sort of clinical setting. We'll have a medical device company. We'll have Bill Betton, who's been in the device industry for decades, and yourself. So I'm really happy with the different forces we're bringing together. What would you, I'm sure this will come up at the meeting, what advice would you give to medical device companies? We can say startups or OEMs, either one. What are they missing? What do you think they'll glean, if not from that conversation, although I hope they do, from a conversation from you later on when they ask you, like, what am I doing wrong and what can I do right?
So I do a lot of startup advising and advising at larger levels. And I feel like I say the same thing every time. And unfortunately, it's consider your commercialization process when you're building your business case. It's not a bolt on.
Hmm.
Consider patient access from the beginning. It's not just a bolt on. And the reason I say that is that we have to remember that providing whatever technology and solution that we are creating into the hands of delivery systems and those who are actually going to be impacted by it is, again, all about those things: trust,
Hmm.
reimbursement, the ability to get the right populations and demographics into your first study, all the different pieces there. So even though you've created an amazing technology, how is it actually going to work in the real world? How is it going to be taken into an operating room? How is it going to be able to be utilized in an actual person's life if it's a device they're going to be wearing every day? How is it going to work in the real world? So I think we have a lot of we'll call them sterilized experiments and
Hmm.
prototypes. But when we think about real world and the challenges of day-to-day life, I think we forget about some of the messiness that is healthcare and some of the messiness that is to be human.
Who is the more important constituent in this? Is it the provider or is it the patient? Can you win market share by getting patients on your side, or do you need to get the providers on there first and then the patients will come?
So it depends on the device, absolutely,
Hmm.
especially in medtech or the therapeutic, if we're talking about pharma or devices as therapeutics. Um, but let's just remember a couple things from a messaging perspective. If I am building a brand, whether it's for soft tissue robots or digital therapeutics or whatnot, I have to make sure that message, including the messages needed for trust, can get to the providers and then get to the patients if I'm
Hmm.
going to go in that direction. Doctors are not marketers and messengers.
No.
That's not what they're trained to do. And so you have to really think about, how can I build the trust within providers, understanding how they message? And is that the best way for me to do it? Or should I go the other direction, direct to consumer? And our consumers are our clients, are our patients. And therefore, can we message better to them and it should go the other direction? So I think in today's day and age, our consumer patients are requiring and requesting more information, and they're also wanting more choices in what they can do. And the providers are still in a delivery system where there's huge legal stakes, where there's huge stakeholder management that they're doing too. And they may not have time to message your device or message your solution if they're not 100% convinced of it. So I think it's actually going to be a dual approach,
Mhm.
because providers need to be convinced that it's safe, effective, et cetera, no matter what. But sometimes you need the consumer to even know about it so they can ask.
Final question. And again, the book is The Borderless Healthcare Revolution, the definitive guide to breaking geographic barriers through technology. Do you have a vision of what this airplane that we're building in mid-flight looks like? I mean, do you see a there, or is that vision changing as technology evolves, and it's going to be what it's going to be, and maybe it's probably never done. But do you have a vision of where we're headed and what things might look like?
So I think that with the pace of what we're doing today, whatever I could imagine that's a year from now, it's going to be completely different.
Uh-huh.
If we're thinking past 6 months, I think we're probably doing something wrong. But what I would say is that if we continue to keep the patient at the center, and I know that's been used as a marketing term and weaponized,
Mhm.
but when I think about healthcare access, what I lay out as the 5 pillars of access, which I kind of break into geography, financial, trust and knowledge, digital, and cultural. If we consider all those aspects for the patient, for the hospital system, for the system at large, for the country we're working in, we're going to be considering all the different pieces. It's a system level view. So anyone who's in systems engineering, anyone who's doing big strategy, if you're considering just this little slice, you're not going to succeed. But if we're really considering the entire ecosystem and the stakeholders involved, I think that's where we're going to be the most successful, especially in a world that is moving so fast and where we're going to have to pivot really hard all the time.
That's fantastic. It's going to be such a great panel. Thank you for being part of Device Talks West. And again, folks can find the book on Amazon, The Borderless Healthcare Revolution, the definitive guide to breaking geographic barriers through technology. I think you can pre-order it now. I see that. So,
You absolutely can.
Sarah, Matt, thank you so much for joining us on FOMO.
Thanks, Tom.